shout out to everybody. Blessings and love. Um, yeah, about doing our best. I mean, we gotta have that positive mental attitude every day. You know, when you hop out the bed, I mean, I know that's what I like to do is start with, after and well, kind of while reflecting on what I'm gonna do for the day, but also to remind myself, not to worry, to let my faith go and let it carry me.
Yeah.
And to remain strong, and whatever I face, to take that second step, that second thought, that step back to re-look at things, after my initial emotional reaction, so that way I'm not just out here just blowing up on whatever that, 'cause I feel like you're a victim then at that point, when you have that mentality, because then, situations will happen and things will occur and you'll just be a victim to it, you'll be a reactionary instead of a response, a responsive or whatever, if you will, for a lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So when that, and I think about doing my best, I think about like compassion and caring and understanding for other people.
Yeah.
As well as, and again, just taking that extra time to really think about what I'm going through and why I feel how I feel in any given situation, or
I say something that always centers me is that you are here. We wouldn't be here. You can leave that on. We wouldn't be here. We wasn't meant to be here. And look,
Brothers and sisters, thank you for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. And that was my son, Lord Lamont. And he's not in the Milltown right now. And so like I've said in past podcasts, I think I uploaded, let me see, what did I upload? When did I upload that podcast? And I spoke on him. I think Hold On to Beautiful Moments. I believe it was, I believe it was part 2 of a Hold On to Beautiful Moments. And I made a video about that too. And my son, Lord Lamont, and he's dealing with this, some challenges. Well, he's not dealing with it anymore. He's came through it. He's good. And I just want to give a salute to my family and brothers and sisters that listen, current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view. May that great divine bliss or bless you and give you those spiritual weapons that we need in this time, mind, body, and soul, see, hear, and feel, and that good old psyche. So that was a father and son discussion that I just played. Me and my son did. It's called Just Do Our Best, and I have it in my preview. And I told him I was going to support him as well as other brothers and sisters, whether in the world, my family, or online. And I'm going to talk some more about Lord Lamont, and I'm going to get to the title here in a minute. But just kind of want to talk about some things, and I guess it's a thought intro before I get to the title. And, just those who've been riding along. Remember, we are leaders and teachers. We are not followers with a student spirit. And I salute those who are reaching and teaching, whether in our families or outside our families. Those with the righteous platforms, I appreciate you, because I have learned from many. And it's wonderful when we learn and comprehend. And like I said, that was a father and son discussion me and my son had. And like I told him I was going to promote him, because when he get to where he need to be, which he will, and he will be back in the Milltown. I spoke to him recently. We've been messaging each other. And again, he's with his mother and just kind of recuperating and getting himself together. That's what we got to do. We got to go through to get through. A lot of us say that, but it's wonderful when we can, and those who are struggling in that area, do whatever we can to get help. I'm talking young brothers, and, young sisters too, but we speaking on young brothers right now, as you see in the title. And I say, young brothers, and before I get to the title, I want to give a little love to 5+ VE, because I said I was gonna bring it up every now and then, and it's a place that makes letters and embroidery and stuff like that for sweaters and hats and and other types of things. I know that's some of the things he does, and you can make your own logo design. So it's 5+ VE, and it is here on my channel. I got the email and all that. It's on my podcast It shows a hat, a red hat, and a red sweater, and it has EBX Cares on it. And it's right on my channel, and I have not too long ago uploaded, so it should be on there. And it's an all red banner and an all red thumbnail. You will see it, and it'll say EBX Cares across the top. And then in the description is the address, the number, and email, and all that stuff. Man, the brother is so cool, and his fiance also. They both run it together. Wonderful brother and sister. They real nice, man. And we all work in the same plaza, and they got their own business. So try our best to support families, brothers and sisters. I don't care if they on platforms, if they small, big, if they in the right place and they trying to grow. Support each other best way we can, and it's for me too now. So, and like I say, I call myself the silent hero, because good deeds doesn't always have to be seen. It can be a righteous, self-fulfilling prophecy, because that's what positive energy is all about, man. We got to feel it within, throughout our body, and pass it on to someone else. And try our best not to beat up on others that's going through things. I'm talking about those that's really trying, like my son, Lord Lamont, he's an inspiration. So that's why I had him at the beginning of this podcast. So let's get to it, brothers and sisters. Sorry it took so long, but my young brothers, as well as my son, Lord Lamont, and we're going to have shows called Lord Lamont Show. And I'm going to tell him that too. I'm going to segue into our own little spot he can have for himself. Because like I said, and my young brothers, my sons, young brothers and sisters too, but we talking about the brothers. I do one on the sisters. I do a part two. But my young brothers, it is time to step into your divine self. Please, by any means. And we talking righteous things now, nothing evil. Because we should know this, but hey, I'm going to say it again. What happens when we step over into an evil life, a narcissistic, selfish, and don't give a damn life? Okay, do you think things will go well? Okay, I'm going to stop right there. And my young brothers, I'm going to say again, you have this ability, especially melanated. If you have some melanation in you, brothers and sisters, you have that divine quality. Everybody do. But, as far as melanation, because we can stand the sun, so the closer we can get to the sun, the more power we can have. Just a theory. But kind of do your history on that, because I got to watch what we say. But we can stand the sun. That's a fact. But I won't get too far into that. The point I'm making is that's a part. See, how do I know that? Because that's come from exploring and researching. Because that's a part of stepping into your divine self, my young brothers. That's how we get to know things and become a self-hero. Real talk, heroic abilities. Doesn't always require flying and being strong and picking up things. No, it's one's ability to withstand anything toxic from person, place, or thing. And I'm going to tell you the main way that we can get, how you going to get to that divine. Because as we all say, the greatest reachers and teachers of all time, brother and sister, what do we always say? And I might put a little profanity in there, but I got to put a little passion on it. You're not going to get shit from the external. We see what's going on, what happens when you give in to the external, especially when it's nothing good for you. And you can get something positive from the external. But when we tap into that divine self, we won't give a damn about the external. We'll be able to weed through all the trash, as I said on a podcast a couple of days ago. I love it when I rhyme. That's because I write rhymes. And I look for Lord Lamont. He has music on here. He'll have more music. Like I said, brothers and sisters, I'm going to push and promote and support my son, no matter what, because no one's perfect, but he's striving to do right. And when you're a great brother or sister, but we're talking about brothers, and you have been the best father you can possibly be, and you have good qualities in you, your children will show it. It will come out. Just keep that in our spirit to keep us from stepping into worry and all that. But the one thing, my young brothers, that can help you develop a divine ability or skill or to see things deep, deep, deep within, study the psyche. Took me a minute to get to that. And you'll hear me talk about the psyche a lot. And you know why? Because that's what helped me and many others. Why do you think we have so many lights of the world? Why do you think people are becoming so intelligent? And just a little side note, something I've been noticing about my brilliant brothers and sisters. We can be, amongst the toxic ones and all those crazy crap. And I'm still talking about my young brothers now. You can observe this too. The thing I'm noticing about my brilliant melanated brothers and sisters, that I'm starting to see a lot of brothers have, and sisters too, but I'm talking about brothers, starting to have receipts. Because remember, it was a controversy about free speech and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's kind of funny because it's like teachers and brothers and sisters. It's like they start having, they say, okay, we can't do this and can't do that. Now we are actually seeing people have facts like receipts. Not everybody, but you're starting to see a lot more. If you're paying attention, you're in the right circles, my young brothers. You will see some amazing things in our melanated brothers and sisters. We have to really go to the inner core and see that beauty. Because some individuals, as I always say, all melanated brothers and sisters have come under what? Do I have to even say it? What have we've come under? Conditioning. And I've actually got that from Malcolm X. I'm studying Malcolm X. That's one of his teachings. And something else he always says. But before I get to what he said, just pay attention to some of our brilliant brothers and sisters. It's like I almost laughed. I was like, wow, brothers and sisters are really starting to have receipts and show facts. It's like things are becoming irrefutable, because brothers, and I'm talking about the ones that's bold and speaking unapologetic. It's like, man, you can just feel. It's like, whoa, brothers and sisters ain't playing. I'm talking about the one that's real. I'm telling you, you can tell the real from the fake. I mean, if you can't right away, you will eventually, because nature will take its course. I got more to learn about nature. Learn about nature, brothers, because that's a part of stepping into one's divine self. Learning about nature, because it all intertwines together. Not together like the way the world say it is, but as far as moving and producing and being productive, it moves together, flows freely. Nature doesn't care about materialistic things. Divine doesn't care about wrong things we have within our soul. It wants us to develop that good energy, brothers, because when we have good energy, we'll know how to date and deal with the opposite sex and our young sisters. I'm speaking from a young brother's point of view that have self-awareness. That's, what, my young brothers, that's the most powerful thing and the most wonderful gift that a young brother could ever have, when they have self-control. Man, that's the best thing that a young brother can do for oneself, especially in your 20s and in your teens. I mean, it's not easy all the time because, the hormones and stuff. That's why I say, you hear me say this 1,000 times. Study, my young brothers. Little feelings you get, things that come into your thoughts. Study it, pinpoint it, Just say, why am I thinking that? Look it up, brothers and sisters. We can get definitions is at our fingertips. Anything we want to know, righteously now, and also learn the art of deflecting things, observe things, because being a young brother, we're gonna, have that battle. I won't say battle because I like to say it's a touchy subject, lusting. I know how lusting can be for a young brother, but teach ourselves how to deal with it and how to turn it into something beautiful, because when we study lust and don't look at sex as this nasty thing, that's what will develop our good mindset about it and understand it about ourselves and others. The opposite sex we come in contact with, how they got their behavior, because it always go back to that conditioning. So, and it just helps us to see sex for a beautiful thing, and because when you hear that word sex, it hits you a different kind of way, but it depends on the individual that hears that word, And again, I'm not no scholar or no expert on sex relationships and stuff like that. But hey, like I say, you go through experiences, you go through enough of those woulda, coulda, shouldas, my young brothers. You will teach yourself. You will learn. Like I say, life will teach us if we're listening and we comprehend. I'm telling you. I tell you, my grandmother's spirit always come up. I swear, every subject I speak on or a topic I come up with, whether if it's inspired from my family or brothers and sisters online or my son, Lord Lamont, salute, even my other children, anybody. But the one thing that always pop in my spirit, and my granddad too, my mom and dad, stuff like my dad, my grandparents, may they rest in peace and in power. But my grandmother's spirit, what she says, always come up in my spirit. Man, you want to see how impactful you want to be when you're doing righteous, and and you want to see great things come back. Just keep on living. Stay with it and keep on living. That's something my grandmother. This for my son, Lord Lamont. It's something your great grandmother used to always say, and my mother has said this. I think my aunt Bernice, she said it on Facebook one time. They said she used to always say, keep on living. So in other words, when you're doing right, and I'm before we even get to the deep spiritual thing, I always kind of put emphasis on that, because I don't ever want to come off like this, I'm trying to be this deep spiritual person, and I got the answer for everything. Just went through the process like everybody else, and thank that great divine if we have the ability to learn from the things we come across, as we come along the way. And if we do happen to get I'm still speaking to my young brothers now. If we happen to get I'm gonna kind of use social media as an example. It's always gonna be part of the subject. But if you do happen to get, let's say you get a little exposure, us as brothers, period, but my young brothers, learn how to handle ourselves on social media, how to present ourselves. Cause I was listening to a brother earlier today, and it really hit home, and he was really hurt, by he was speaking on a certain individual that speaks in the media sometimes, and everybody listening to him. And a lot of times the brother that he was speaking on can really speak some real good truth, but then he says things that kind of goes too far. And then sometimes we can be aware of it, sometimes not. I'm not talking about no one in my circle I'm connected to, because this individual was speaking on, I don't even run in them circles. So anybody that listen to this, I'm not talking about nobody close to me, as far as those online or my family, not nobody in my circle. This brother, I don't even run in the circles that he was talking about. So just want to put that out there, because again, you in them right circles, you will know who the real ones are. All those who you will know who the ones that are aware of their flaws, because we all got flaws. But it's not about having flaws, it's being aware of them, and this media will have you like that, where you'll be kind of on a high horse and kind of, get, kind of taking up your own, get lost in your own hype. That's danger, 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 young brothers. Don't get caught up in your own hype, because, man, that you get lost in that and you won't see it, Stick to the cause. Stick to the reason, something that always centers me. And this could center you, my young brothers. Lord Lamont, anything we're doing, and of course it's got to be righteous. You already know if you go wrong, so I don't even have to talk about that. But if you have a desire to change something, whether it's in the life or in yourself or your family or something, be as right as we possibly can. Because in this human body, we can never know what's coming down the road. But when we locked into that great divine zone, what I always say, that great divine, always know. Because when we suffer righteously, young brothers, we'll love ourselves and we'll love everybody else. Those that deserve our love, we'll love everybody else later. And we'll be so glad that we went through and got through and didn't stump on no one. And we watched our behavior, as we carry ourselves, not just on social media, but in life in general. We be goofy and, have a sense of humor. We don't be this, this perfect person all the time, but we just got to carry ourselves a certain way, in life. And it makes for good energy, especially when we're around other young men. You know what I'm saying? Young brothers coming up. You know what I'm saying? It just makes a difference. If we have to, like I was getting ready to say a few minutes ago, Lord Lamont, young brothers, my sons, young brothers that's listening, always remember whatever challenge we're facing or trying to change, or what we're into, or what we, never forget what we began our cause in the first place, and whatever that is that we're trying to reach or get to. Of course, something righteous. Don't let us forget what started us on this divine walk in the first place. And that's what I say. That's why I don't like too much exposure and being out there too much, because I don't want it to, it's enough shit to deal with that's distracting us already, without us adding unnecessary drama to our own lives, So that's why I say things that my son, Lord Lamont, salute, stuff that he was just dealing with, that kind of, made me put a magnifying glass on life. But one thing we learn when we connect to that divine force deep within, and we study the psyche, young brothers, we'll do introspection every now and then. And introspection is just an update to the mind, body, and soul to keep us straight and keep us stable, because we always got to remember, I don't care. And, I notice I hear this in the media too, this karma thing. You know, how somebody really I don't believe in karma. Are you kidding me? Karma believe in you? That's what's funny. I was like, people shouldn't even speak on that area. Just don't even touch that. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like that example I used from the Bible. Like I said, you can pull truth from there. Again, I'm not a Christian, but you can pull truth from the Bible, and I'll bring it up again, and it fits. It's true. Never ever, and this is like playing God or poking the bear, that type of stuff. Never ever, my young brothers, never tempt thy Lord, thy God. And I mean the real one now, the one that keep us from acting off our wrong impulses, one that keep us in check, that guy. You know what I'm saying? Don't tempt that force. If you have good things going for you, and you maybe do, again, I'll use social media as an example, but in life in general, if you do happen to get some kind of exposure and you have people listening to you and engaging, please don't take it for granted, young brothers, please. Because I'm telling you, whether you believe in karma or not, no one can see the future. And the future is going to come. So that's why we have integrity, carry ourselves as men, as Malcolm X said, the best way we can without hurting ourselves or hurting nobody else. And it's very important that we don't hurt ourselves, because we never know what that great divine has for us, especially if we are somewhat of an influencer. And that's not just speaking or on YouTube. I mean in life, whatever we got in there, because we can be an influencer in our personal lives, how we act in our own lives. Remember, but being an influencer and in the public eye, especially if you're an activist or you call yourself leading people, it's important. And many of us that are wise, you hear a lot of us say this, sisters too, but I'm speaking on brothers. I'm speaking maybe older brothers too. We speak on this. And Malcolm X was a stickler on this. He said he didn't care about how we dress, but he said it does matter how we dress, how we carry ourselves, the integrity we view in front of our melanated brothers and sisters. It does make a difference. Because what do narcissistic wicked entities feed off of? They feed off of ignorance, stupidity, people who don't care about what they're doing and who they're hurting. Entities feed off of that. If they have nothing to feed off, guess what they'll feed off of? They'll feed off themselves. You know what I'm saying? Parasites. If they have nothing to feed off of, they'll feed off themselves. So that's what we got to do, brothers and sisters. And I mean, mainly for my young brothers, don't give in to individuals that's toxic and having, they have to go. Everybody has a choice, especially if they're healthy. Nothing wrong with them. They have the chance to change themselves too. So, and again, a lot of us say it's not a selfish thing. When you're going through something serious and you have to change oneself, I don't care. Some things you have to cut the hell off. That's real. And just until you get yourself together, then then you get yourself right, young brothers, and then get yourself in a space where you can help others, because you can't see the inner core if we're dating, or if you're dating a young sister or whatever, and especially if you dealing with those hormones and stuff. If you don't have shit right within, you won't be able to see it in others, bad or good. So that's why we stay righteous. That's how we try our best to teach oneself so we can become a teacher in whatever area that is, because everybody's an individual. We're all on different walks, different situations. So it was just something I wanted to speak on for my young brothers. Step into your divine self and study the psyche. You want to come through victory time again and again, time after time, and triumph every day. Like Bruce Lee said in that movie, every day can be a triumph. It's just how we look at things, how often we study, how much time we spend with that divine spirit deep within, how many quiet moments we take so we can fight any spiritual battle that comes our way. There I go rhyming. And I'm telling you, and it's not easy all the time. That's why you hear so many of us say meditate. Meditation is not a joke. It really isn't. And call down that strength from time to time. Real talk. And as I say all the time, say it's going to be a good day, And I'm sending that great love and protection to my family, my children, Lord Lamont, their mothers, my children's mothers, you know, and anyone that's trying to grow. Stay with it. Great Divine is watching, you know. Whether we believe in that force or not, it really doesn't matter. You know, it's all how we live our lives. Like I said, my grandmother said, just keep on living and we'll see what that Great Divine has. So my son, Lord Lamont, you're on your way, you know. Like my mom said, the first step to going through a challenge is accepting that we have one. Real talk, and I had to go through that too now. As I always say, brothers and sisters, me too. Real talk, because those that are, we in this together. Those who, most of us that are aware and have and not on no bull, and we ain't in no unnecessary drama. We know that those are the lights. We know that we are together. It's those that refuse to get on board. And you know, again, I feel sorry for individuals that are living a devil toxic life. Life, the same things that people have done to compromise themselves to get wonderful things in life, they could have had the same thing if they just would have stuck with that divine force. Might have took as long, might not have got it as fast, but it would have been that much more better, you know, because when you do evil shit, you know, hey, it's like it was all for nothing. So my young brothers, learn from those in the media. Learn from those who have been evil. That's why it's important to do research and study things. You know, we learn what not to do, my young brothers. Real talk, because that's what it's all about. And one more thing before I, you know, salute you brothers on, my young brothers. Lord Lamont, salute all my children, you know. It was something that stuck with me that Samuel L. Jackson said in the movie. I don't know if people remember the movie Long Kiss Goodnight. It was one scene in there that kind of hit your heart. When Samuel L. Jackson had the girl, remember the girl, he was an investigator, and remember she had amnesia, and he was trying to help her find out who she was and all that kind of stuff. And remember, he had walked in the room in the hotel, and she had the gun, and she didn't know where the gun came from, and she accidentally almost shot him and all that. So, and he was like, take the money. I am not going back. You know, when he talking about he's going to jail. You know how Samuel L. Jackson acted in this movie. But remember, they were riding in the car, and she was looking at him. Remember, they was real quiet, and he's like, you know what? Remember, he like had an epiphany. He's like, you know what? I never done one thing right in my life. He said, that takes skill. And remember, he wasn't going to take her. He gave her back the money. He's like, I'm out of this. I'm not going to help you, because she had that gun and almost shot him. And remember, it was Christmas time in the movie. And he thought about it, and he turned the car around. It's like this was the one thing that he was not going to mess up. And that's how life be, brothers. And he said that takes skill. And that goes back to that example I like to use. You can do, now I'm not talking about, when I say doing wrong things, I'm not talking about like toxic things and that's really messed up. And again, anything along the lines of causing someone's demise or something like that. I'm not talking about nothing of that nature. I'm just talking about things we battle with as a human. That evil shit, you already know. I'm not talking about that. But things we battle with as a human being, as a young brother, you know, we can do, it's just an example now, we can do a million things wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about just little minor things here and there, the stuff we do in our life to set us back. You know, we move forward one step and we knock ourselves back 10 steps, then we move 3 and back 5, you know, that kind of thing. And then, but we can do a million things wrong, my young brothers, but we can do maybe 3 to 4, 5 things right that will righteously overcome and impact all the wrong things we done. So that's the reason we step into our divine self, because great divine it take a long time, but be right on time. Isn't that crazy? Because the great divine can be everywhere at once. That's how powerful that force is. You know what I'm saying? So those who have been doing evil, those who are hiding right now, you can't hide. You can't run. Like Lauryn Hill said, a great divine's going to find you. Real talk. You can't run. You can run, but you can't hide. So you might as well just have a right heart and just be righteous, you know, because at some point you're going to come to that divine force. So you might as well just be right now. You know, if you have been through mistakes and everything and you have learned, please stay there. You know what I'm saying? The woulda, coulda syndrome. Don't get stuck in that. If you had enough woulda, coulda, shouldas, that should be enough. You know, don't keep repenting. Don't keep doing the same thing as a lot of us teachers say, and keep respecting a different result. And this for me too now. So those were some things that was in my spirit. I just was feeling inspired this morning. And again, my son, Lord Lamont, my children, young brothers in the world or online. Man, the best way we can, step into your divine self. And how we can stay with it and know our divine self and know what it is, study the psyche. Salute.